Empires rise by luck and they fall by destiny. You can have the best planning, training, experience, and equipment, and yet fail if luck doesn't favor you. Thus, the importance of luck and chance can't be downplayed while looking at the course of history. These are the top 5 most fortuitous events that had a profound effect on Japanese history. Number 5. Misinterpretation saving lives. In 1572, Tokugawa was feeling invincible. So, when he saw Takeda Shingen marching with only 35,000 men towards Kyoto, where Oda, Tokugawa's best friend, was stationed, he decided to tame the tiger of Kai with his 11,000 lions. That's right, 11,000 against 35,000. Well, needless to say, Takeda cavalry crushed the competitor, and Tokugawa, after giving his armor to his body double, who got killed, poor guy, ran back to his castle. What a shameful display, my future shogun. Upon reaching the castle, Tokugawa had only 5 men, and the vanguard of Takeda was approaching fast. So, Tokugawa did what any sane man would have done. He threw open the gates, lit all the candles, and ordered his men to beat the drums as loudly as they could in order to uplift the morale of his decimating, retreating army. The Takeda general thought it to be a trap, that there must be a lot of men in the castle, and thus encamped outside the walls as they waited for the rest of the troops to arrive. However, in the night, Tokugawa gathered every man he could, armed them with matchlocks, and attacked the enemy camp that forced the Takeda army to retreat. If only the vanguard had charged right in the castle, I'm sure Tokugawa's head would have made a great trophy with Takeda Shingen as the shogun of Japan. Number 4. Snipers are not gay. Takeda Shingen was all set to dominate Japan until he came across Noda Castle in Mikawa province. He starved out the defenders who were just about to throw in their katanas and commit seppuku, but then someone decided that it's party time. Takeda heard someone playing a flute and wanted in on the party, and so, to listen to it better, moved just a little closer to the castle. When a guy who was camping there all day saw the general approach and decided to give him the 16th century Japanese John F. Kennedy experience. The Tiger of Kai died soon after receiving, of course, a bullet to the head. And even though his retainers tried to hide the fact, the news slowly spread. The clan never saw its former glory, and the successor to Takeda Shingen was as potent as a castrated horse. He led his cavalry right into the trap of Oda a few years later, and the pride of Takeda was demolished just a few years after the death of the tiger. Number 3. Always wear a helmet and breastplate. Oda was having a bad day. His brother-in-law from Asai had betrayed him, and he had to leave Kyoto, his crown jewel achievement. However, on his way back, there was one more disappointment waiting for him, as a ninja shot the demon king of the sixth heaven twice, once in his chest and head. Poor Oda was knocked off his high horse and fell on the ground, broken and bleeding, as the ninja disappeared in a cloud of smoke. Despite bleeding profusely, Oda got back on his feet and vowed to take revenge over all his enemies. Had the bullet hit his mark, or had the Oda Nobunaga died that day, perhaps Tokugawa would have never grown to power as he did, and the future of Japan would have become uncertain, to say the least. Number 2. Always read the weather forecast, even if you are the mighty. After conquering almost all of Asia, the Mongols were ready to spread their genes to Japan. They tried in 1274 but failed and were shipwrecked on their way back. So in 1281, with over 70,000 men, 3,500 ships, and hundreds of other Chinese local vessels, They were well prepared to annex the isolated small island. After all, what's a small island when you have everything from China till Europe? This time, they were hit by the divine wind, the kamikaze. In the beginning itself, as the typhoon ravaged the coast of Kyushu for 2 days, sinking two-thirds of their ships, killing thousands, while those who ran towards the land were either cut down by the samurai sword or enslaved. Not even a fraction of those horse riders could return to their home, and the Mongols kept their genes confined to Asia as Japan stayed homogeneous. Number 1. When in doubt, just fire. The Battle of Sekigahara was the largest samurai gathering in the history of mankind, with both sides having over 85,000 men, but for hours neither was willing to advance. When the battle did break out, one general named Kobayakawa joined as a spectator and was quietly looking down at the ongoing battle from the top of a hill. He had over 16,000 men, and despite being an ally of Ishida, was unable and unwilling to fight, as he had also received a promise of land and riches from Tokugawa. As the battle moved on, Tokugawa was having a tough time handling the army of Ishida despite having numerical superiority, and so made a desperate move. He fired his cannons at the position of Kobayakawa, and then Kobayakawa, much to the surprise of everyone, rushed down the mountain against his old ally and crashed right into the Ishida army front line. The vanguard of Ishida fought heroically as Otani Yoshiguru's men fired their arquebuses, killing many, but soon got overwhelmed due to the numbers, and even Otani himself fell alongside his men. Seeing that, 4 more generals of Western Army with their 23,000 men switched sides. Talk about honor and loyalty. And then Tokugawa got an easy victory with negligible losses, while Ishida Mitsunari lost about half of his loyal troops, somewhere about 23,000, before being captured and executed. And thus, Tokugawa shogunate was established thanks to the whimsical attitude of one general and the luck favoring him on that day.